Hey VC, it's me Roger back with more records. Last time I showed you the new vinyls. Today I'm going to show you the vintage vinyls. The antiques. Now I know the plural of vinyl is vinyl. I'm just taking the piss. Hit the dislike. Alright. Before we begin, playing in the background, I hope I'm going to get away with this. Really beautiful music I want y'all to know about. Check it out. My friend Spencer, from formerly at Record Collector Magazine, now at Jazzwise Magazine. He's a band called Padang Food Tigers. He sent me a 7-inch and a cassette some time ago. Really beautiful stuff. He sent me their latest CD. It's available on CD and cassette on Northern Spy, which is a cool label. So this is Padang Food Tigers with Sigbjorn Apeland, and the title is Bumblin' Creek. Bumblin' Creek. Yeah, I don't know how to classify this music, honestly. It's with the harmonium and the banjo, and it evokes kind of that pastoral, mythical, folkloric folk music, that psychedelic folk music, but contemporary. I don't know what I'm saying. I really dig this stuff, and thank you, Spencer, for sending it to me and sending me a nice note. He's written a little blurb about Who Doesn't Fade, which I'm going to share with you when I get it in the mail. That's pretty cool. But anyway, check these guys out. It's on Northern Spy. Really cool label out of Philadelphia, I believe. Bumblin' Creek. And enjoy it in the background. I think it's really quite... His note, he describes it as balm for the soul. I think that's a really good description of it. It has a very healing kind of, not like new agey. Hear it for yourself. I think really beautiful stuff. Thank you, Spencer. Thank you very much. Cheers to you all. It's hot as hell today. I'm having just a Stella. Refreshing lager on a hot day. Alright, where to begin here? I got a stack here. I'm going to start with some 7-inches. Let's just face it, I collect these things now. I'm not even going to pretend otherwise. I'm going to turn this down a little. If I see cool things like this, it's really hard to resist. I found this at Hound Dog Hoover's here in Kingston Springs. So this is I'm on Duel 2. On the A side we have Archangel's Thunderbird, and on the B side Soap Shop Rock, which I believe is a non-album track. And so this is from the Yeti album, 1970, I guess. It's if you can see here, it's a promo label. Promo not for sale. I'm not even all that big a fan of him on Duel, to be perfectly honest. But this was just too cool. I thought it was a promo to boot, and that it's from, Yeti. Those first few records are cool. I'll give them that. And so this is cool, and a non-album B-side, and a promo label. And it's got a stock sleeve, it ticks off all the boxes of a 7-inch that I'm gonna be wanting, and so there it is. Cool. Here's another one I found at Hound Dog Hoover's that, again, it's not a promo, but it's got a BB hole through it. Incense and Peppermints by the Strawberry Alarm Clock, backed with the Birdman of Alcatraz, which I think is also a non-album track. Not totally sure. This is like totally mint. Stock sleeve. This is classic psychedelic garage 60s, psych pop stuff. And again, I couldn't not. All right, here's another one. I guess they were a Nashville band, the Rugbies. This is UI, back with Stay With Me on the Amazon label. This is from like 68 or something. Amazon's a Nashville label. Yeah, more like psych pop, more pop than psych. It's a Shelby Singleton production. I like that label. Yeah, cool stuff. Another Manu Dibango single I found at Hound Dog Hoovers. What's it? Dengwa. So this is mono on this side, stereo on this side. 1972. Yeah, this is great. Really cool. Now this is really cool. He was having a sale a while ago, 20% off, and so this was like 80 cents, right? People keep giving me shit about buying records for the cover, you know, like, what's it to you? This is a little rough, but it was 80 cents, and it's a genuine African 45. It's the Orchestra Veve. I have an analog Africa comp of this Verkey's Orchestra Veve, and you have Sakamuna parts 1 and 2 on Editions Veve. Is there a year on this? I'm not sure. Early 80s, I think. Yeah, this is a little rough, but I mean, come on. I was shocked to see an actual African 45. Really funky Afrobeat stuff. Great. And I don't think this track is on that comp either. So, yeah, for 80 cents, it's kind of a shame, it's kind of beat, but I'm not going to complain, right? Alright, so some Jamaican 45, so again for like 80 cents a piece. Sly and Robbie, Unmetered Taxi. This is a classic Sly and Robbie track on the Taxi label. 1980 something, 81 I think, something like that. So with a dub version on the other side. Yeah, this is a little rough, but yeah, what do you want for 80 cents? What can you get? What can you even get nowadays for 80 cents? Can you even get a pack of gum for 80 cents? I don't chew gum, so I don't know. Alright, so Junior Reed, Married Life, backed with a dub version. JR Recordings, 1989. This actually plays great. It's a funny song about, like, you know, don't get married, you know, to become a naturalized citizen. It's weird. Don't quite understand the politics going on there, but it's interesting. There's something on Weed Beat. Shirley MacLaine, no, not that Shirley MacLaine. No Scrub, No Floor. On Weed Beat. I like that. This is from 1989. There's a dub version on the back. This is cool. This is great. You know, more of a roots reggae kind of thing. I don't know. Like, reggae is another thing that I like it. I'm no expert, but I thought Jamaican records were cool things to find, especially for so cheap. So here we have Pam Hall doing "Come in a Dis," 1984. This is also kind of a roots reggae kind of thing. Nice, really nice. I really like the dub versions on the B-sides. That's kind of the fun thing. How Dim Guanso by Wickerman on the Star Trail label. Backed with an Answer version by the Firehouse Crew. Now, I'm not quite sure what's going on with this, but interesting. As I recall, kind of a toasting kind of rapping thing, as is this on Father and Son. This is Gal You Lazy by Daddy Lizard. The dub version on the other side. These were just cool, and they were cheap, and he was having a sale. And he was telling me that his lease is up in September, and he may not keep that store open. And I was afraid of that when he opened it, but I can't single-handedly keep him in business. But if you're ever in the Nashville area, or if you live in the Nashville area, and or say you live anyway, people think the little town I live in, Kingston Springs, is like really far away from Nashville. It's not. It's really not, and it's really nice. And so I think it's worth the drive while I live out here. But it's a cool little store. It would be a shame to see him go, but not up to me. It's up to you, people. Cheers. Cheers, Kent, if you're watching. Alright. Enough with the 7 inches. Now for the full-size vinyl records. Alright, this is just great. Eric Dolphy, Last Date on Limelight. This is not a first pressing. This is, which would be like with a gatefold and a booklet and stuff. This appears to be like a 70s, mid-70s pressing. It sounds great. This, Eric Dolphy, and one of my heroes. I mean, and just so sad that he died, so young. He was on tour with Mingus Group, and there's lots of those recordings out there with that great Mingus band. He decides to stay behind in Europe, and he's gigging around. Seems healthy. Boom, dies. I think it's a heart attack brought on from undiagnosed diabetes. I think that's what happened. But anyway, he was like 34, really young, what a great player. And, he plays flute, bass, clarinet, and alto saxophone. His bass clarinet playing, his flute playing, everything. Yeah, he's just... I sometimes marvel to think what he might have done if he'd lived, 1964 is, things were just starting to really happen. Anyway, so he's playing with a pickup band in Holland in June of 1964. And Misha Mingelberg on piano and Han Bennick on drums. They went on to do really great things. Not familiar with what Jacques Strolls did on bass. But this is great, what is there to say? Everything the man did is worth hearing. Alright. This is... I showed a Max Roach record a while ago that I kind of bought on a whim and was like, wow, that was really good. So I saw another Max Roach record, and I was like, okay, I'll get this too. Drums Unlimited. Drums Unlimited. On Atlantic from 60-something, 6 maybe. This is mono, white label promo. Hard to resist those white label promos. In fact, let's show it. So anyway, in fact, I can't remember who's playing on this, so let's just pull it out. It's in beautiful condition. So we have the gatefold. Yeah, so what's the deal with this? You have James Spaulding on alto sax, Freddie Hubbard on trumpet, Ronnie Matthews on piano, Jaime Merritt on bass, and Roland Alexander on soprano sax on one track. But then, as you might imagine with the title, there's a bunch of drum solos. Now, I'm of the opinion that drum solos are almost never a good idea, particularly on record. But it is Max Roach, and it's his record, and he can do whatever the fuck he wants. And they're really imaginative drum solos. Don't get me wrong. But it kind of makes this a record I'm unlikely to put on very often. The ensemble parts are interesting. Anyway, so this pretty cool mono white label promo is... I bought it for the white label promo label. How about that, folks? What do you think of that? Is that a good enough reason to buy a record? People are so funny. Yeah, so I mean, Max Roach, he's great. I'm glad to have it. Yeah, whatever. I like this way more. Jacques Courcil, A Black Suite. Originally came out on BYG Actuel in 1970. This is 1971 reissue with slightly different artwork on America, French America label. This is fantastic. This is my thing. This is my bag here. So you have Jacques Courcil on trumpet, Arthur Jones on alto sax, Burton Green on piano, Beb Guerin on bass, Claude Delclou on drums, and Anthony Braxton on bass clarinet and soprano sax. So really wanted this for a long time because of the Anthony Braxton connection. But this is great, and this is not a Braxton record. This is Jacques Courcil's record all the way. You know, it's that late 60s, early 70s avant black power kind of spiritual jazz, free jazz, avant, whatever. It's not free jazz. There's definite compositional stuff going on here, and but also lots of great improvisation. This is great. I'd love to have an actual copy, but you know, I'll take what I can get. All right, this someone I want to say it's James Buttery showed this, and this is a really super common record here in the States. So he showed that record, and I was like, I bet I'll run into that record, and sure enough, I did. Olotunji Zungo, African percussion. Yeah, so this has Yusef Lateef on winds and Clark Terry on trumpet and a bunch of other people. It's an original 6i Columbia stereo. No, is it? Yes, Columbia stereo. With the Olatunji drum, you know, these massive drum choirs and a big choir of singers and chanting, and yeah, this is cool. There's something a little bit ersatz about it, though, to me. There's something like Americanized about it that kind of rubs me the wrong way. And I could be totally wrong about it because I'm no expert on African music by any means, but it just I don't know. And authenticity, who cares, right? Yeah, this is cool. And here in the States, you know, I think I paid $2 for this, and it's mint. Great. So thank you, James, for giving me an excuse to pick that up. Is that a good reason to buy a record, people? If James Buttery says to buy a record? Well, actually, no, that's a terrible reason to buy a record. In fact, you know what a really terrible reason to buy a record is if I say to buy a record. That's a really dumb reason to buy a record. Sorry, I've had a couple beers. Wife's out of town. I'm a little punchy. This music is lovely, isn't it? It's very subtle. It's like almost not there sometimes. I love it. All right. This, like I said, I've been picking up blue notes if I see them, if they're reasonably priced. Donnell Birds, Electric Bird. This might be like the third copy of this I've tried to own. It didn't look like it was gonna be that rough, but despite my best efforts, it's, you know, it plays, doesn't skip, you know, but it's just a little noisy. Oh well, a placeholder till I can find a better copy, because this is a great record. I mean, very much in that Electric Miles bag. It's from 1970. But not as heavy as Miles. It's much lighter, but it's not like featherweight, like diffusion-y, like stuff that would happen later. It's still got some, you know, meat on its bones. And I'd really love to have a nice copy of it. Oh well. So it goes. 20 minutes, man. All right, I better keep going. All right. Jimmy Owens on A&M Horizon from 1976, I believe. This is great, funky fusion record. Cover of Duke Ellington's Caravan is, you know, they play the melody, but otherwise it has absolutely nothing to do with Duke Ellington. This is great. I like it. Lots of synthesizer, electric piano. It's that 70s vibe, if you can get with that. Oh, it's a promo label, not white label, but promo label. Cool stuff. Alright, some more not so funky, but fusion, European fusion. Volker Kriegel. Topical Harvest on MPS, a Dutch pressing. Promo, copy. This is, not his best. I think it's his last record for MPS. But it's still great. What great playing. What a great guitar player. Have Rainer Brenninghaus on keyboards, Ray Mantilla on congas, a bunch of people I don't recognize, but this is solid. Solid jazz, rock, funk, fusion stuff. Yeah, I dig it. Speaking of Rainer Brenninghaus, found this BCM Freugvet? I murdered that word. Have no idea what it means. I should have looked it up. You would think this would be a German pressing, what with all the German on here. No, it's a US pressing from 1981. Kenny Wheeler on flugelhorn, John Christensen on drums, and Brynjar Hoff on oboe and English horn. I don't think he plays on every track. This is lovely. In some ways, this is like the epitome of ECM. Very pastoral, very Nordic, kind of glacial, sort of landscapey. But there's enough edge here and enough raw musicality that makes it compelling. It's not just completely bland snooze fest like can sometimes happen. And of course, it sounds lovely. All right. This was a neat find. More African music. It's a UK label. So we have Dembo Kante and Kasu Kayate. The title of the album is Tenante. So it's two kora players duetting on this label, Rogue Records, out of Surrey, England, 1987. This is beautiful. I love the sound of the kora, which is this giant harp-like African guitar thing. And these dudes are virtuosos. I mean, it's amazing, truly amazing musicianship, and just a beautiful sound. And what can I say? This reminds me very much of that Diabate father and son record on I can't even remember, but really it's available. Go get it. It's really beautiful kora duets records. But this is something else along those lines. I love it. It sounds amazing. I love it. Some more world music. Ravi Shankar's Festival from India on World Pacific. I meant to do some research on this. I believe this is a concert in the States from the late 60s, early 70s. Double LP on World Pacific. This is not your typical Ravi Shankar record. He plays on this, but there's a lot more than just sitar and tambura ragas going on here. He's got a whole host of musicians playing all manner of instruments and singing. Really beautiful, really lovely overview of the whole world of Southern Indian music, Southern Indian classical music. The sound of the Indian dulcimer, I can't remember what it's actually called, but it's like a dulcimer instrument. It's so beautiful. And it's crazy melismatic singing and stuff, beautifully recorded. Fantastic. I have a bunch of Ravi Shankar records, but this seemed to not just Ravi. All right, we're getting there. All right, this is a record I have kind of avoided because, despite all appearances, I can't buy everything. But again, Hound Dog Hoover's, he scrounged this up at an estate sale or something. Absolutely mint condition. Promo label. Great price. I had to add it to the Zappa collection. It's The Worst of the Mothers on MGM. Yep, DJ promos, got a promo label. Let's take a look at it. This video's gone so long now. If you're still watching, thanks for not bailing out. If you bailed out, I don't blame you. I really don't blame you. Let's see, this is kind of cool. Special disc jockey record. As if any disc jockey was going to play any of this crap on the radio. What a concept. The Worst of the Mothers. It's, aside from Status Pack Baby, really none of this would make any sense at all on the radio. And this was not compiled by Zappa himself. I'm not sure who put it together. There's no credit, of course. But it's almost like they're trying to mimic Zappa's zany, sequencing of records. I don't know. Is being a completist a good reason to buy a record? Alright. Here's a guy whose records you don't see around. At least I don't. I have a few. I guess Superior Viaduct has done a big reissue program. Maybe I'll have to go that route. But anyway, I found this. Moonshine by Burt Ward. On Reprise from 1973. I'm guessing this was on Transatlantic in the UK. This is a beautiful record. I have some other Burt Ward records where it's basically solo or maybe some duets and stuff. Here he's sometimes got a whole band going. He was in Pentangle, so he has Dave Maddox and Tony Visconti, Danny Thompson on bass on some things. Danny Thompson on bass. Anyway, really great, really just fantastic. What can I say? Alright, here's a tale of two Prague records. Here's one I've been looking for a while, a decent copy. Hard to find, but often trashed. Captain Beyond. Sufficiently Breathless. Their second record from their second album on Capricorn from 1973. This cool psychedelic, like Bad Trip cover, gatefold cover here. A weird band. A British-American crossover, right? I mean, it was members of Iron Butterfly and the singer from Deep Purple. They only made 3 records. This being the second one. The first one's but really the one with the lenticular cover. That's hard to find in good shape too. But so yeah, this is 1973 progressive rock record. With a certain jamminess, lots of guitars, kind of spacey vocals. So the kind of progressive rock that I can get with, not too wanky, but enough chops to keep it, keep your musician-y interests whetted or whatever. So yeah, Captain Beyond, Sufficiently Breathless. Cool prog progressive rock record. And then there's this, which is I guess a big BC fave, and I don't mean to poop on it, but it's not my thing at all. Red Queen, it's Griffin is the name of the band. Red Queen to Griffin 3 is the name of the album. I know I've seen Derek show this record, maybe some other people. I mean, it's got a great cover. It's got, look, a guy playing the bassoon. I mean, I can get on board with that. There's bassoon in Henry Cow. Sadly, this sounds nothing like Henry Cow. This is the kind of progressive rock that it makes my skin crawl. To be perfectly honest, it's it's all instrumental, but it's that symphonic. Every note is written out. It's like nothing is taken. No chances. Nothing is improvised. It's all note for note, and it's so ponderous and pretentious and And I know it's my fault because I have this attitude about classical music that, you know, and classical musicians and classical training, and like, you know, just because it's notated, in my mind, it does not bequeath, you know, superior. If you notate it and you read it off a score, that is superior to music that comes out of the top of your head or you teach orally or whatever. I hate that attitude, and this music kind of reeks of that kind of attitude that, like, oh, we're not leaving anything to chance, we're going to write these masterpieces and we're going to play them back note for note, and it's not my thing. If you dig it, holy shit, 30 minutes, alright. No one's listening to me at this point anymore, so it's probably just as well. Alright, finally I'm going to end with an 80s record that you just don't see these around. Gary Numan, I Assassin. I really liked that. It was a Pleasure Principle record, one with cars, that I found recently. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, I'm going to check this out. And I didn't recognize them from the titles, but there were some hits on this from 1982. Like, I think the title song, I Assassin, and White Boys and Heroes, it sounded familiar. So, yeah, British synth pop from the 80s. Pino Palladino plays bass on this. You get that sort of rubbery, fretless bass sound that kind of makes it sound almost like Japan a little bit at times. I like this. This is really good pop music, you know, like art pop music, I guess you'd call it. Yeah, that's cool. All right. I apologize for the length of this video. There were a lot of records to show. I mostly caught up. Not really. So, who knows? I might be back this weekend. Liz doesn't get back till late Sunday, so I might be up to no good. And I'll come back and harangue you some more. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.